everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into the video, I want to let you know that I am still alive and well, and I know it's been a long time since I filmed. I'm literally sitting here because last night I was scrolling through Instagram getting some makeup inspiration and I got super inspired. So I'm excited to do a little updated makeup routine and just pack a lot of makeup on, because lately I've been a lot more active and I haven't been wearing as much makeup as I normally do. So I'm excited to just have a play today. I've decided I'm just gonna film something really soft and glowy, not so hectic on the eyes. And I'm gonna be using a lot of my favorite products and a lot of new techniques as well. During COVID, I did practice my makeup a lot and I've changed a lot of the way that I apply things. So I'm excited to get into it and just show you guys how I do my makeup. So if you wanna see a little makeup transformation, have a little catch up, then keep on watching. So I'm going to start out by doing my brows, just taking the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Soft Brown, and this is just the same brush I use all the time. I don't know what the number is because it's rubbed off, but this is the Anastasia brush as well. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this product, and then what I like to do is get it nice and flat on the back of my hand. So I kind of just like brush back and forth to get my brush really flat and make the product super even on the brush. I'm going to give my brows a little bit of a brush upwards. So I did actually get my brows waxed and tinted the other day, which has made filling my brows in so much quicker. So all I do is go in with that brush just underneath and just start filling that in like I've already stuffed it up. And then I start by doing a line underneath my brow. So as I'm filling the brow in, I kind of just put the brush on and pull upwards just to drag that product through. And then I'm going to do the top line. Now this one does look a little bit lighter through here, so I'm just going to kind of go through and just brush this one a little bit to like soften that color. Just a little tip as well, I always do my skincare after doing my brows, just because if I do my brows second after I've done the skincare, it's a lot harder to draw them on and the product doesn't stick to my face as well. So I always start with my brows and then I go in with my skincare afterwards. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of my Plouise Base. I'm just going to put some of that on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to carve out underneath my brows and just sort of prime my eyelids for the shadow. So this brush is a MAC, I think it's a 252S, but again the numbers have rubbed off, so I just kind of like brush back and forth to make the brush nice and flat, and then I'm just going to carve out underneath my brows. So I just like to do little patting motions just to blend that out, and it also helps the primer set. Now I'm just going to go in and carve out the top of my brows as well. It just helps the foundation go on better when it comes time to do the foundation. So just make sure this part is all already done. So you can do this part with concealer. I'm just using the Plouise Base because it was already on my brush. Now I'm just going to take a little bit more of that Plouise Base. So this one is in the shade number 2 as well, I forgot to mention. And I am going to apply a little bit of that underneath my eyes as well, just so that I can get all of the eyes done and out of the way before I start my face. Alright, now I'm just going to take my Vani-t sponge. I'm just going to pat over all of that just to make sure it's blended out really seamless and there's no harsh lines around the edges. So I'm just going to do a really simple bronzy eyeshadow lid, basically. Just going to use one brush to keep it super simple. I am going to be taking my Clientele palette from Bperfect. This is honestly the best palette, such a good travel palette. It's got every single color you need for pretty much any look that you want to do. So first I'm going to take the shade Sandy, which is this one here, and this is just on a Morphe M441 brush. So it's a really good blending brush. Just take a bit of that product, tap any excess off. And I'm just going to start blending that just through my crease. I like to just take smaller amounts of product and then slowly blend it out, because you find it blends a lot nicer whereas if you just put a whole lot of product on, it can start to get a little bit patchy. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with the shade Dirty Tan, which is this one here. So I'm just gonna use the same brush and I'm just gonna focus that more in the crease and not blend it up quite as high. So I'll just keep that one in that area there. So then you can go back in with the first shade just to blend out those edges and bring that color back in, because it sort of did blend away. So I'm just gonna grab Sandy and I'm just gonna pat that on my lid. And then you can sort of just bring that shadow up a little bit onto the temple. Now I'm just gonna take a little bit of liner. So this is the Balm Schwing liner. I'm just gonna apply that just right along my lash line, so when I apply my lashes, they blend really, really nicely. Now I'm just going to apply some mascara. This is the Covergirl Lash Blast Volume. I'm not a fan of waterproof mascaras because I do find them really hard to remove. I'm just going to apply that to my lashes. So these are the lashes I'm going to be applying. These are the Tarte lashes. I'm pretty sure they're TL19. I have worn these a couple of times, so they're not brand new in a box. But I do love the fact that these are not mink. A lot of Tarte lashes are mink, and I'm just not a fan of the whole, I don't know, like animal hair eyelashes. So I'm just applying the glue. The glue I use is the Ardell Lash Grip, which I find is a really good one. I like to let it kind of dry on the lashes for about a minute first. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of skincare while I wait for those lashes to dry. I'm gonna be using the Sunday Riley Vitamin C Rich Hydration Cream. This is honestly the best moisturizer I've ever used in my life. I love it so much. I repurchased this one 3 times. And honestly, it's so nice. The smell of it is just such a refreshing smell. Like it's kind of, it's like a little bit orangey. I'm just gonna take my little spatula and pop some of that on my face. Just gonna rub that in. Honestly, this just leaves your skin so glowy and pretty. They do have like a really nice oil you can mix it with as well. I did have a sample of that the other day because it is a little bit pricey. I was like, I want to really love it before I buy something. But yeah, I think the oil's about 100 and I think this one's about 100 or 110. So you guys can see how glowy that's left my skin. A little tip for applying lashes is have your eyeliner already done, your mascara already applied. Look down into the mirror and you just want to sit your lash just so it's touching the top of your lashes. So I've literally just sat that there, and then I'm going to grab the tweezers and just place the inner corner down, and then I'll just make sure the outer corner is stuck down in the right spot. So then I kind of like push the lashes down so I can see that it's sitting right close to my lash line, and I just push on that just gently. Now I'm just going to take some of the Vani-t highlighter drops and just apply that on my face. So I kind of just do it like in the normal spots that I would highlight. And then I'll just apply a little bit of that up here and there. And because I have dry skin, I do tapping motions. If I was to just rub it around, it's going to lift up the dry skin. Also, don't apply this to your nose because sometimes foundation is hard to stick to your nose enough as it is. So sometimes it's easier just to leave that bit out. Now for my favorite part of the makeup routine. I've let all of this skincare products sink into my face for a minimum of 5 minutes, because if you apply your foundation straight away, sometimes it can begin to separate, which isn't nice. So definitely let your skincare sink in first. So this is the Vani-t Sculpt HD Serum Foundation. I use the one in the shade 26, so this works perfectly for when I have a tan. This foundation is an absolute life changer. You guys will see when I apply it, it pretty much blurs my pores, makes my skin look really airbrushed and flawless, and it is so nice. The formula is good. It's got a really nice clean and fresh smell as well, which I love. Right, so I'm just gonna take a couple of pumps of that on the back of my hand. I'm gonna dip my brush in and dot that on my face. Now I do find that applying this with a brush does give me more coverage, but then afterwards I do go over it with the Vani-t sponge just to make sure that there's no brush marks. Now this foundation is a matte foundation, so obviously dry skin girls, you want to make sure that you're doing that skincare first. So just to go around my hairline, I like to just use the very edge of the brush and just like gently brush it in because I don't want to cake my blonde hair in foundation. So now I'm just going to take my Vani-t sponge. This is a damp sponge. I'm just going to really gently pat just to make sure I don't have any brush lines on my face and just to really push that product into my skin so that it will last really, really well. Now I'm just going in with my Tarte Shape Tape. This one is in the shade Light Medium Sand. So I'm just going to apply a small amount of that under my eyes, down the center of my nose, on my chin, on my forehead. I'm also going to do from a line sort of from the middle of your ear to the edge of your mouth. Now I'm just going to take a lighter concealer again, so you can take any light concealer that you like. This one is the Too Faced Born This Way Sculpt and Conceal in the shade Nude. So I'm just going to place that in the center there because I want the center of my face to be quite a bit more highlighted. Alright, I'm going to start blending that down the center of my face just with little patting motions first. So I do like to let it sort of sit under my eyes a little bit more because I find once it sort of starts to dry, you do get a little bit more coverage out of it. So as you guys can see, just by doing that, it looks like I've already contoured. So it's sort of like a better way to contour without applying a huge amount of product. Blend that concealer out under my eye. And I do like to take that up this way. And now I'm just going to go back in with my eye brush because in this section I can sort of see I've got concealer hair. So I'm just going to do little circular motions just to blend that out so I don't have a harsh concealer line right in the center of my eye there. Now I'm just going to go in and set underneath my eyes. So I'm just going to take this setting brush, which is from Real Techniques, and the Australis powder. This one's in the shade Nude. So this is a really light one. So I'm kind of only going to focus this in the center of my face where I want it a little bit brighter. So I'm just going to pat that in this area here. And then I'm going to go in with the shade Medium Tan and just set under the rest of my eyes. And then I'm also going to set along where I concealed. Down here. Now I'm just going to do a little bit of cream contouring. I just use a really small amount of this product because I don't want my face to be too cakey. So this is the Too Faced Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and this one's in the shade Mocha. Another shade that I do want to try is in the shade Maple. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of this to that part of my cheeks and then just a really tiny amount in the corner of my forehead. And then I'm just going to take a brush like this one here. This is a pretty old brush. It's pretty much just like my foundation brush but a smaller version. And I'm just going to pat in those areas just to blend that out to give my face a little bit of shape. And I always blend the forehead part out first because I do find for some reason it's harder to get that bit seamless if I let it sit there for a little bit. So just blend that out and then making sure to not go below my mouth with this because that's not what you want. So you want to keep it all above this line here. So I'm almost doing it in like this sort of shape just to create like a lifted cheekbone sort of look. And then with what's left on the brush, I can just go down the sides of my nose and do a little bit under my lip. So now I'm just going to take the sponge, just on a side that I don't have too much concealer on. Just want to be really careful when you're blending this to not take it too low. So again, don't take it under the line of your mouth. Now because I feel like my contour already does look quite bronzy and hectic, I don't want to go in with the darker color like I would normally use to set it. So I'm just going to use the Medium Tan MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. And I'm going to take that on my Sigma Angled Contour Brush. Basically just going to pat really gently just to kind of set where I put that concealer bronzer. In almost the same angle as this line, I'm going to kind of put some just on my temple to warm that area up. And it does look really nice if you have like that light patch through here from the concealer. And then you've got that warmed bronze a bit just on like this side of your brow. With just what's left on the brush as well, I am going to go through and just do my jawline. Next, I'm going to apply a little bit of blush. So I have been loving the blush look. A lot of the time I do skip blush, but I've been liking having a bit of colour to my face lately. So this is MAC Melba. Okay, so do a little smile and just gently pat that here. So when I apply the blush, I do like to apply a little bit more because I do find that it kind of soaks into my foundation and loses colour really quickly. So I always apply a little bit more. So I do like to not darken underneath my eyes too much. So I'm just going to go in with the lighter shade Sandy from this palette. Just going to pat in and tap it off. And just do a little bit sort of like towards the outer corner. Let me know if you have any video suggestions for the near future too. I've decided, just put the brush in my eye. I've decided that I'm going to set myself a little challenge and film 2 to 3 new YouTube videos every week. So I'm keen for challenges, Q&As. I really want to do the say it or shot it challenge. So you guys have to ask like crazy questions. And if I don't want to answer it, I have to have a shot. Now I'm just going to go in with the shade Dirty Tan and just put that as close to my lash line as I can on the outer corner. I'm really just loving this bronzy glowy sort of look lately. Now I'm just going to go back in with the same mascara and just apply some of that to my lower lashes. Now it's time to do a little bit of highlighting. So I'm going to take MAC Whisper of Guilt. And this is just a Morphe M431 brush. So I'm going to go in and put a little bit of that in my inner corner. I do normally do the white, but I've been finding making it not so hectic and sort of just like a more blended gold. It looks really nice. I can put a little bit on the tip of my nose there. And then here, and I also apply some underneath my brow here. So before I highlight my face, I'm going to go in with a little bit of setting spray. This is so pretty. I don't know if you can see, it's almost empty. But when you shake that, look how pretty that goes at the bottom. So this is the Vanity Ready Set Glow Setting Spray. All right, so I'm just going to spray this all over my face, trying to not get it in my hair. All right, and then I'm going to go in with my MAC Whisper of Guilt again. So this is just on a Zoeva brush. The number's rubbed off once again. So I like to turn my head so that I can see exactly where to apply this. Look how glowy that is. So if you have oily skin, obviously you'd start your skincare routine a little bit different. You don't have to do the glow spray either. All right, so now it's time to do my favorite lip combo. So first, I'm just gonna take a little makeup wipe and take any foundation off my lips that I've got going on, because there's a lot. I'm going to do my new absolute favorite combo. I pretty much wear this every single time I apply lipstick. This is the MAC Cork Lip Liner. So I'm gonna line my lips with this one first. And then I'm gonna go in with my favorite shade, which is Peachstock, also from MAC. So I'm just gonna apply that over top and in the center. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of a clear gloss to go over the top, just to be a little bit extra. So this one is the Fenty Beauty in the shade Diamond Milk. So it does have a little bit of a glitter to it. Because it is clear, I don't want to just apply it straight to my lips, because then inside the little bottle it's not going to be clear anymore. So I just apply some to my hand on a little brush. And I'm just going to like brush that in the center. Just a little bit. This stuff smells amazing. They do have another one that doesn't have the glitter in it, which I do need to purchase. Now just to tidy up, I'm just going to go in with a little brush. This is the one that I use to carve out underneath my brows. At the end, I like to give my brows a little brush. Sometimes I go in with a hairspray just to set them. So I'll spray a little bit of hairspray on my little spoolie and just give them a little brush, but I can't be bothered going to get the hairspray because it's in the bathroom. So I'm just gonna give them a little brush. So that brings us to the end of today's little tutorial, Get Ready With Me. I hope you guys enjoyed following along and learned some new little tips. If you have any questions or any video suggestions, please comment them down below, because I need suggestions. Like I said before, I do want to start filming 2 to 3 videos every week and just seeing how I go with that, because I just miss filming and having fun and like editing and being creative. If you enjoyed watching today's video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video.